Well, Becky, we know that President Biden will be landing in the coastal city of Jeddah in a matter of hours after about 36 hours on the ground in Israel. Just about a week ago, he told the Washington Post this in an op-ed about why he was going to Saudi Arabia. He said its supply chains, its waterways are essential to global trade and the supply chains we rely on. Its energy resources are vital for mitigating the impact on global supplies of Russia's war in Ukraine. And a region that's coming together through diplomacy and cooperation rather than coming apart through conflict is less likely to give rise to violent extremism that threatens our homeland. But earlier this week, talking to reporters about what the administration hopes to gain from the trip, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan acknowledged that lowering gas prices is part of the goal.
He intends to use every tool in his toolbox to try to create adequate global energy supplies and to bring the price of gas down for American working families at the pump. And that will be measured over time. Can we get that price down and can we keep it down? And I don't think it's going to be measured on Friday or Saturday of this week. I think it will be measured over the weeks and months to come.
But the president is in a peculiar place. The price of oil is down about 20% since this trip was first announced. The administration is optimistic about the fact that the price of oil has fallen, that OPEC Plus producers have already acknowledged that they need to be increasing production throughout this fall, even if by just a marginal amount. And the president's going to be meeting with Gulf producers to try to get them to produce more, even more oil than they've already agreed to. But the fact that oil has already come down means that the president has less pressure to actually come home with some deliverable to get these producers to actually put more oil on the market. And we will see, Becky and Joe, what he actually ends up coming home with, if anything, after a meeting at the G7 where the French president suggested that Saudi could only put about 150,000 barrels per day more on the market, which is not really enough to move the needle.
Hey, Kayla, we had Amrita Sen on with us earlier, and her thought is that she's keeping very low expectations, doesn't expect much to come out of this, at least on the energy front, from this meeting alone. And actually, she's looking for prices to be significantly higher. She's looking closer to $120 by the end of the year, just as China opens back up, the demand picture kind of picks up. She just mentions that this is a very tight supply. So if Mr. Sullivan is going to say that this is going to be measured in the weeks and months to come, are they prepared to kind of be measured by that standard if oil prices surge after this?
Yeah, he didn't say the months to come, which is certainly what analysts are expecting in terms of prices rising from here. They believe that this is just a temporary blip in terms of prices falling. I mean, certainly the goal of the administration is to get more oil on the market for the long term, at least from overseas, as certain energy policies here at home are aimed at lowering fossil fuel production. I've talked to the energy envoy, the senior energy envoy for the administration, and he is optimistic that U.S. producers are going to be putting more on the market throughout this fall. There's 1 million barrels per day coming out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve here in this country. And so there's certainly aims that are being met here at home to put more oil on the market. But the administration wants to keep telling global producers that they need to be pumping more oil. And we will see whether they do just that.
Kayla, thank you.